friends, today's project can be on a scrap piece of paper. I have it on one of these cards that's like postcard size, and that is like 4 by 6. So it's a YWAP post. It's for, you know, handing out to advertise for the conference. Anyways, this is an old one, and I have tons of them. And so today we're going to do a very much like lots of layers art today on here, and I want to use some things like I'm going to just splatter some paint on here. So I'm going to go grab some paint. So I'm going to grab some deep turquoise, and I'm going to shake it. So I'm going to grab some of my favorite colors. And that's usually like the deep turquoise and the greens I like to put together. And I'm going to use the Americana multi-surface satin. It's one of my favorites. I'm not sure. I should start using other products as well, but you know, I don't know. I'm kind of addicted to this right now, and so this will work with all different types of products, I'm sure. So I got some white out as well. So for now, I think, well, I'm going to get my orange, yellow, and red out as well. So I'm going to use my pumpkin patch. I'm going to use my school bus, and I'm going to use my lipstick. And those are the colors in the orange, yellow, and the red. So I'm just shaking them up a bit. And of course, I know these colors are very familiar to you guys because I use them often. I'm going to use my lipstick. I'm also going to pull out my modeling paste. You guys can use spackle. You guys can use any kind of wall compound and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to put some color down here. And this is just going to be like totally mixed media and fun play. And that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to dry this up. This is totally the first layer. My plan today is to do layers and just see what kind you get out of all these layers. So this is going to be my little canvas. I could have done this on a canvas board, but I do want to use up scraps, and I think it's fun for all of us to use up our scraps and have some dimension and little things behind our stuff. So here we go. Layers of the green and blue, and I really love this look. It's kind of looking like, I just love that peacocky colors with the green and the blue mixed together, but it's not going to look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick some modeling paste on top of that. Now I'm not sure how this particular type is going to work, but I'm just going to go and stick modeling paste all over this, and I'm hoping this will work for what I want to do. And we may need the more wall compound type. This modeling paste tends to be more of a like rubbery texture, and so I'm not sure if it'll work, but we'll see. So just scrape it on however way you like, and we'll test this out. This is modeling paste from DecoArts. So I'm going to dry that up. Modeling paste is going to work for my project, but it may have a different look that I'm not expecting. I'm going to go with red now. That I'm not expecting that will make it work. So we'll see. And so I'm just throwing in some red and oranges now. Let's see if I could touch a little yellow in here. And I'm going to dry that up. I don't want to mix up too much. Before I dry up, I think I'm going to put some markings in here because I like that. And so I'm just going to make some marks. There we go. So the modeling paste obviously wasn't quite dry underneath. See, I can make marks in it. We'll see how that works because it didn't feel like regular spackle. Like you might want to just pull out the old-fashioned spackle for this to get really hard and that crust hard, because that's the real fun stuff to play with sometimes. This modeling paste is good for DecoArts, but it might not work for every technique that you want to try. So now I just did that, and I kind of scraped up the stuff that didn't dry back there. And I might have to really let this dry for a couple hours. So right now I'm drying with these particular layers. I'm going to be drying just on top to add. But later on when I work on it, I might have to let it really dry through a bit. At this point, I am going to add more modeling paste. And I'm putting it really thin because I'm not really sure how this modeling paste is going to work out for me. The way I'm thinking in my head, it's not, the texture doesn't seem to be right there what I want. But I'm putting it thin because I'm not too sure. So just to be careful, I guess it's not a great thing to be careful with your art, but if you're not too sure and you're trying something, I don't know. Go for it, I suppose, but I know this is just not going to dry if I put it too thick, so I guess that's where I'm getting at. I'm not trying to be careful in my work as I'm just trying to, I know what this product does, and I'm not thinking it's going to work the way I want to use it. I'm now just, I didn't turn the video on for a second. I'm putting some actual spackling on it because there we go. I am actually putting the spackling on because the modeling paste, particular brand of modeling paste, is good for pages and that kind of thing. But for what I was trying to do, so I put this. I'm just going to grab some paint with my paintbrush and just go over. This is a very old spackle and is really falling apart here, so not too pleased about that, but whatever. We'll work with it. So I'm getting some blues, greens, get some white, and I'm throwing that on there. And that's what I'm doing. So this is what it's coming out to be right now. So this is a kind of an experiment with this particular paint being so shiny, because it is a very sheen paint that dries kind of like a beautiful sheen. So we'll see if it works. Now I'm going to dry this off and we're going to go to the next part. In my mind, this is going to be a fun part. Now I didn't do black for some reason. So I'm going to shake up my black acrylic and pop that open. There we go with that lovely sound of squishy. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to make a very loose heart in my black. And that's, you can do any shape you want, but I want to do some hearts. Play with some hearts. I've been doing lots of canvases, little mini canvases with some hearts in them, and just kind of wanted to play with them. So here is my heart, and I'm going to fill it in with very loosely here with my red paint. And I'm really enjoying this process. Even if it doesn't work to what I want it to work to, I might discover something I haven't quite discovered before. So I know my edges are damp. I want to blend that black in a bit. Perfect. Wipe my paint off, add a little bit of white. Maybe a bit of orange. Don't have to be so precise, but it's fun to play. So even though, you know, I don't have to be because I know what I'm going to do next. You guys don't know. You're kind of in the dark here. But it's always fun to play. So I'm going to get more red. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is dry that off. I got lots of paint on there. Lots of texture, which is really, really awesome. I'm going to dry that off. We're going to go to the next part. I've decided, oh, there we go, the video started. I've decided to add a few little ink pieces to it. So I'm going to grab my script roller And I'm just gonna throw that on there. Here, like this. What a piece, it's coming along already. And then I'm going to grab some Indian ink. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a couple of toothpicks like this. Those ones that I used, I had my butterflies attached. Dip one into my Indian ink and just tap with the other. Just like that. There we go. Put that to the side, dry that up. Now this is so far how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. Now I have a really wet brush from the water. I'm going to grab some white and do a bit of a dip in the water. A bit of a wash like that. Dry that up. You guys are thinking I'm crazy. I know it. I can hear your guys' thoughts. Okay. So the only crazy part here that I'm doing is not making it dry for hours in between. And now I have sandpaper. I would like to have a better, maybe a better grit, but this is P600. We'll see how that works. I'm going to go over it and check what I'm doing all the time because I didn't dry it between the for hours in between, so it might be picking up too much of the paint layers, which I think it is. And the texture, yeah, I should probably dry it more. The modeling paste was not the right choice, but the spackle is a better choice. The modeling paste is just too rubbery. So what I'm going to do is going to be more careful and just be careful and sandpaper it down. I might have to wait a bit. I might have to let it dry a little bit more. I'm going to go around the heart right now to just let that dry a little bit more. With that last thick layer of red, I might have to let that dry a little bit more. See how it's pulling up? The modeling paste wasn't a good choice for this particular one, this brand or type. If they could have other brands or types, I don't know. But because it is picking it up like in the pieces like this, which I wanted to sand more naturally, like an example, just more, I wanted to sand down more naturally, not peel off. So the DecoArts modeling paste, this brand here, is not good for this particular project if you want to sand through your colors. So that's kind of what I was going for, was sanding through my colors and seeing some different colors underneath. I'm going to be more careful and just try to get it on the sides here. See, you can see some of the colors coming up. I didn't put modeling paste everywhere, so it's not going to peel everywhere. And of course, the red is got to dry a little bit more. You can see my yellow underneath there and some of that pattern from the little thing here that I did. Can you see that yellow coming through? We'll fix that up. So more of a wall compound type of modeling paste, something that's more like, there's a nice orange coming through, will work way better. This one is peeling off too much. We don't want peeling. It's okay. So now I'm going to work slightly. I'm going to work really softly, maybe on here. Wear out some of the heart without peeling it up. So if you let it dry for many hours in between, it'll work better than rushing your work. Rushing your work doesn't work. That modeling paste really wants to just peel. And some of the paint too, because it's the way it is. It's like plastic, right? Once it's dry. You know how when it's on pallets, it wants to peel. Okay. Dust this off. Let's see what kind of brush I have for that. Do I have a brush that can dust this off? I think I'm going to add a little more red. I got the roughness. It peeled rather than sand in some places, but that's okay. And I still got that look that I'm looking for. I would have liked to have been able to sand the heart down more, but it's really peeling. And if I let it sit for days, it would be better. So I think doing the project very quickly for this particular one is not for it. But I'm telling you, I'm still loving it. Yep, I'm still loving it. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of black. So I'm going to use some of the blacks on here just to shadow maybe. Some of the heart. Why not? Give it some depth. And there we go. Getting more red. So this is just a heart project, but I really wanted to do more layers and sand more layers down. So I think with the next one, what I'll have to do is get more of a clay, you know, not a rubbery modeling paste. So something that has like maybe homemade modeling paste or something that has like where it can sand down like drywall. So, and usually when you do pieces that are really like something you really love, you usually let lots of drying time in between. I had, you know, just basically stop the video, dried it, and move on. For teaching purposes, if I had all the time in the world, it would be great. But I only have, you know, so much time And to let things dry in between. I would have liked to have more wear on the heart, but I'm really happy with the way it is. And if I let it dry more, I might be able to sand it down a bit more. And you can keep going over and over it too with what you like. So this doesn't have to be the complete piece right here. In fact, I'm going to continue playing with it for quite a while. I'm still sanding this part down because I didn't want the whole heart to peel up, so I just stopped sanding the heart area. And I'm just going to sand around it. Maybe next time I'll just add the heart to the end and just do a slight sanding on it. You never know. Now, some of the pieces of papers might be coming through, which is really cool. You can still see some of my stamped ink here. And even though some of it was peeling up on the heart that I didn't like, it's not a failure. This piece is still lovely, and when you get done with it and you're happy with it, no one's going to know what struggles you had with your piece. And all these struggles are learning curves, so take it as it is. Learning curves to better yourselves in what you love to do. So this is how it's coming out, and this is really nice. My heart is coming apart right here, so I'm just going to sand one way. Doesn't mean I can't keep it stable or anything, so just be careful. And you can always paint over it. Yeah, this piece wants to come off. Right here, so I'm going to let it come off. There you go. Keep sanding it until I'm happy. Now I'm getting some of that red and orange coming through, which I love. Just going in a little bit. So this sandpaper actually works out pretty good for this particular piece because it's very light. If it was too rough, it'd be really ripping at. Too toothy, it'd be really ripping at. So now I'm going a little closer to the edge of the heart, feeling a little bit more comfortable with it, because I had to redo that heart, remember. It really peeled up here. So if I'm going over it, I'm going to be super careful. I don't want the same thing happening where I'm peeling up a clump. What I wanted was to have like a little bit of stuff coming off. And I think you guys know when you do drywall and how the drywall compound kind of comes off a bit, but you still have what comes, you know, what's below the different levels of texture. You're not going to get at everything, so that's the nice part. And just go in different directions too. That'll help not catch some of the paint. So that one wants to go up. I'm determined to keep trying it, even though I had that issue with it coming up. Really, I'm just going to try to be very more careful and just keep going in. And see, there's some piece coming up way too much there too. Just go in a different direction and get it off. I'm really liking it. So I'm not fighting it anymore. I let that chunk of modeling paste just come right off. So I'm glad I put it on really thin so the whole thing didn't peel off. But yeah, I'm not fighting it. I'm letting it come off. It's like this silly fighting it. I'm very happy with this now, and I think I'm going to kind of undust it up, heat it up to make sure everything's set, and I might add some gold to it, I think. I'm really liking how nice this is now. Yeah, it's a big chunk out there, but that's okay. Modeling paste, this particular brand just won't work, but something that is more like a body of paste that's for the wall, that will work because it'll sand down better. So I kind of knew that too. I'm like, I'm not too sure about this, but I tried it anyway. So just to get some of the dust off, I'm going over with a clean wet paintbrush, going in different directions, get the dust off. It's very fine, and the color is really coming out because of that dust that was trapped in there. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And as I'm doing that, I'm looking at what was even covered with the dust. I'm really liking it even more. And you can see how lovely that is right there. I love that. Look at that. So now I'm going to dry it because I had to kind of take all the dust out, right? From the sanding. I think I'm happy with it. I'm going to go over a little bit here with some gold. And I'm going to quickly go over that with some gold on my finger. I'm going to show you what brand of gold I'm using. It's from Americana. And I'm just going over my finger. And then I'm going to go over my cloth before it really gets in there because I don't want it to be crazy gold. Although I might have chosen the wrong, oops, getting into my lid. I might have chosen too sparkly of gold. But I haven't really used this particular one much, so I want to give it a try. Okay. Going in circles now. A little more gold than I need. In there. That's okay. Just going to be very careful and pick some of that up. Here we go. So the gold is a little sparkly. So I would have went maybe next time with a bit of antique gold, more of an antique gold. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to spray some alcohol, 70% alcohol on there. I'm going to let that kind of break up some of that paint, and I'm going to pull some of that off. But also, it just kind of gets into the paint. Gives it a good look. I'm going to pull some of that off. So if you got too much of something, you can always do that. Throw in some alcohol spray. So 70% alcohol. But also, it does crack up the paint quite a bit too. if you just let it sit, it really works on the paint. No, the alcohol really is just helping taking some of the gold off. It's not like breaking away the paint or anything like that. So, but I like that it's lifting some of the paint up because I'm coming through and pulling some of this off, which I really like. And kind of revealing layers without sandpapering them. And it's working good on the heart because the heart was the part where I was having trouble revealing what was underneath. So that's kind of cool. Getting it really wet though, but hey. I'm liking the layers that are coming off. So I think that's about it for that, taking off those layers. Going in different directions here. So later on, if I wanted to, I could probably go in with a pen or something and doodle on there. I'm not sure. Whatever I want to do, I suppose. And that is that. I know it's quite a long video for such a little project, hey? But taking layers off is kind of a big job, really. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to throw in some of this gold here. This is just the Instant Stick Play Color poster boards paint. And I'm just throwing some of that in there. It's just nice on a tube and convenient. And I'm just going to throw some of that in there. I like that look. I really do love gold on everything. I think you guys all know that. So there is that. And just a little bit here and there, which I love. And I think that I am pretty close to done. Of course, I'm not going to say I'm done anymore, you guys, because I'm like, I keep doing that and keep putting myself like, I'm done. That is it so far. So I'm using metallic shimmer now, and I'm going to do some white splatters. And then I'm going to do the same with some black. Hopefully it won't take away too much. I don't really want it too black, but just a bit. It would almost be better to do like a dark chocolate brown, just so then you're not pulling the too much out. But if you dab it, it takes some of that black out, so it's not too bad. I don't want to be focused on the black spots. There we go. Dry that up. And I think for the finishing touch, I'm going to stick a stamp on there. Love. And that may be done. I may do some doodling to outline the heart a bit. And I think that that'll be it. Now this process did take a while, and sometimes it's going to happen. So don't limit yourself to time and to, you know, doing something just because you think it's a quick project or whatever. This now, I believe it was this side. Yep. Scrap paper turn into this beautiful piece. It can be a postcard. It's got layers, got depth. Your eyes just go all over. And one of the most famous shapes in the world, a heart, which you can do over and over again, and you'll never get tired of it because it'll always be different if you do different colors or whatever. Purple heart, blue heart, opposites. So there we go. Now I'm going very lightly and sketchy because I don't want it to be a thick black line. Trying to avoid too much black, but look at that. You guys can't even see it. It's so thin and dainty. But there you go, just a little bit of hint. I did do black around the heart, but we really lightened it up with going over it with the red and blending it in. So just want to go really light and sketchy. Going around the edges, which I really don't need to do, but I'm going to go a little bit. Just lightly and sketchy. You won't even see it at a bit of a distance. You guys probably can't even see it on a video. Nothing very hard for this particular one today, just because it's the mood I'm in, and whatever mood you're in, that's what you're going to do. And there we go. Believe we are done. So you can do this to any scrap paper, cardstock, canvas, small canvas board, and have fun and play with your layers and grab some sandpaper, take them off, and play with your modeling paste. Like I said, this particular brand is a great modeling paste for papers and all that kind of thing if you're not going to sand it off. It's too rubbery and it pulls off. I'm glad I only did a little bit here and there, and then I did do a chunk with the other plaster stuff, which was really nice. But because I had so much paint on it, I didn't sand it. I wasn't brave enough to sand it, which is really bad because I'm supposed to be brave in my art, but I think I would. Well, who knows? Maybe I was. I don't know. What do you guys think? Was I brave enough, or should I went totally crazy with it and just sanded all the way down? Don't know. I really wanted to have the heart there, but didn't want it to have it totally sanded away. Anyway, you guys do what you like, and why don't you guys tag me or post it on my Facebook wall and or on Twitter and tag me. That'd be really fun. I guess I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to craft like that. Bye, guys.